You are drifting through the void. Your scanner catches something massive. Cold metal, silent corridors and whispers in the dark. Most travelers turn away, but not you, because where others see fear, you see profit. What if I told you that this terrifying place could actually reward you with some of the coolest exclusive items to decorate your base, freighter and even your new corvette? With my tips you can earn up to 30 cargo bulkheads in just 1 hour, maxing out your freighter storage faster than any other method in the game. And that's just the beginning. Along the way you will also collect unique currency, Tainted Metal, salvage frigate modules and even corvette construction modules introduced in the Voyager's update. In this guide I will show you exactly how to find, farm and master derelict freighters, turning fear into fortune. So gear up, space traveler! It's time to crack open the void and see what treasures it's been guarding.
Test your might.
There are 3 types of derelict freighters in No Man's Sky 2025. The first type is the crashed freighters. New players will remember this from early missions that require retrieving encrypted keys instead of regular loot. Crashed freighters are easy to find after solving puzzles at transmission towers or simply through exploration. Their massive silhouettes often stand out against the terrain and they appear at a fairly regular frequency. The Minotaur Raider can also help locating distress signals and lead to these crash sites, while underwater variants can be discovered using the Nautilian Submarine's radar. By using the terrain manipulator you can uncover buried storage units containing valuable loot. Be careful though, unsealed containers emit deadly radiation that can bypass any hazard protection. While most of the resources and items found here are common, players have a decent chance to find salvage frigate modules used for unlocking freighter upgrades and cargo bulkheads for expanding freighter inventory slots. The next type is the older style derelict freighter space encounter, which still exists. These appear randomly while using pulse drive and allow you to shoot cargo pods for small rewards, though doing so may attract pirates. You can't land on these yet to fully explore them as dungeon type derelict freighters, which we will discuss later in the video. But with the Voyagers and Breach updates, which introduced an expanded spacewalking, wreck salvaging and the ability to use your multi-tool in zero gravity, you can now explore and loot these massive wrecks almost like crashed freighters. I believe this wasn't possible before, so let me know in the comments if you ever managed to find and loot storage units on these before the Breach update. Unfortunately, there is still no confirmed data on the drop tables or exact loot chances for these encounters, but it's reasonable to assume they share similarities with crashed freighters, including the possibility of corvette module drops added in the Voyager's expansion. Honestly, with proper spacewalking now available, exploring these colossal wrecks drifting silently in the void feels both thrilling and dangerous, like stepping outside your ship into a frozen graveyard of giants, where every metallic echo and shimmering light reminds you how small and fragile you really are in deep space. But the most exciting and truly terrifying of them all are derelict freighters, abandoned in deep space. These are the dungeons of the No Man's Sky universe. Each one is procedurally generated, meaning no 2 interiors are ever the same. Be warned, derelict freighters are the darkest and most haunting places in the game, often scaring off unprepared travelers. You can board these ghost ships by interacting with the airlock terminal and unsealing the freighter for exploration. Inside you will uncover fragments of its story by reading logs, scanning terminals and piecing together the fate of the lost crew. Eventually you will access the captain's log, revealing the vessel's tragic final moments. Once inside, your jetpack is disabled and movement becomes heavy and slow. The game cannot be saved during derelict missions, so if you leave and return later, your progress will reset, forcing you to start over. The Starship Teleport Receiver also becomes inactive, preventing you from transferring items between your exosuit and ship inventories. However, if you own a freighter, you can still move items between it and your exosuit, a small loophole the devs haven't closed yet. Derelict freighters are made up of various zones and rooms: airlocks, living quarters, cargo bays, medical units, science labs, and finally the engineering core. Their order, structure and layout are random, ensuring that every mission feels unique and unpredictable. Some wrecks even have multiple floors connected by staircases. Expect anywhere between 7 and 12 zones per freighter, with many dead-end rooms marked by a red circle above the door. Exploring these ships is dangerous. Then their crews abandoned them, vital systems failed. Lights flickered out, gravity destabilized, and life support systems shut down. Security AI went rogue. Some wrecks became infested with alien lifeforms, glowing jellyfish drifting through the halls of raving infestations spreading across the metal. Each derelict falls into one of 3 combat environments: infested with alien creatures, defended with rogue AI turrets and drones, or empty with only minor threats. Some ships even mix these types, combining rogue AI with infestations, turning them into truly nightmarish places to clear. Empty derelicts are the safest for farming, but infested ones are the most horrifying. To uncover a ship's full story, you will need to collect security credentials scattered through its data logs. Then use them at the secure mainframe terminal to retrieve the captain's log. Security credentials aren't required for the records or engineering terminals, so you can extract the crew manifest first, a choice that can shape your looting strategy. Derelicts are also filled with containers and crates holding valuable loot as you advance deeper through the ship. At the end of every run, you will reach the final terminal, the engineering core, where you can claim a special reward of your choice, marking the mission's completion. The recovered crew manifest and captain's log can then be exchanged with vendors on space stations for various valuable rewards. This creates a perfect loop of danger and reward, exploration, mystery and profit all tied together. Every Derelict Freighter run becomes a descent into the unknown, part ghost story, part treasure hunt, and one of the most atmospheric experiences in all of No Man's Sky. You might randomly encounter a derelict freighter while pull jumping across a star system, or force its appearance with an anomaly detector found while mining asteroids or received as a quest or guild reward. Additionally, you can use the new settlement features available in constructed towers, whose terminals can also help locate space anomalies within the current star system. But the odds are slim and unreliable, as many different anomalies can appear in space, and the derelict is just one of them. Fortunately, there is a guaranteed way to find the derelict freighter every single time. You can force one to appear by using an emergency signal scanner, a device sold by scrap dealers aboard inhabited space stations for 5 million units each. These scanners aren't cheap, and their price increases with each purchase: 5, 10, 20 and finally 30 million, though it resets every day. You can also earn an emergency signal scanner as a reward from certain Nexus missions, or receive one free each week from Iteration Helios aboard the Space Anomaly once you've completed your first derelict run. When you get the emergency signal scanner, activate it and begin pulse jumping. It will lead you straight to a derelict freighter in the current system, a massive ghostly ship adrift in a cold void. You can board it alone or with up to 3 friends in multiplayer. If you attempt to approach with a corvette, beware. While derelicts do have dedicated landing zones for corvettes marked with blue circles and sharing the same design as those on regular freighters, unlike freighter landing zones, these don't initiate the landing procedure automatically. You need to manually interact with them by pressing E to actually park your corvette, something the game never explains, and just another example of how counterintuitive the interface can be. Some players have even reported that pressing E to dock doesn't work for them at all, suggesting this feature might still be bugged despite multiple patches. If you can't land properly, the workaround is simple thanks to the Voyager's update, which made spacewalking possible. Engage your corvette's autopilot, leave the pilot's seat, open the hatch and manually jetpack onto the derelict's hull. Just remember, after completing your run, the teleportation beam back to your corvette is located to the right of the exit and around the corner, so don't get lost. Until this issue is fixed, it's best to use a regular starship for consistent and fast landings. Once you set floor on a derelict surface, you will step into its cold, silent corridors, a place frozen in time. Every flickering light and distant echo whispers of the horrors that claimed the crew. From this moment, your first true dungeon run in No Man's Sky begins. Derelict Freighter farming offers a haunting blend of exploration, danger and reward, making each run feel unique and unpredictable. Before boarding, make sure you are fully prepared. Bring sodium, dioxide, ion batteries and oxygen to recharge your hazard protection and life support systems. The freighter's freezing air will constantly drain your protection. The airlock computer can also provide extra ammo, life support gel and ion batteries if you choose the second dialogue option before unsealing the main doors. Loot the crate on the right before the entrance. It contains repair kits, ferrite dust, condensed carbon and sodium to help you get started. With proper preparation and careful exploration, Derelict Freighter farming becomes a thrilling way to gather valuable loot, uncover secrets and experience one of No Man's Sky's most atmospheric and unnerving challenges. Inside, you will find floating containers with sodium, oxygen, ferrite and condensed carbon, as well as portable heaters you can activate for warmth. The rooms vary. Some are infested with twisted hostile entities, while others lie eerie, empty, littered with lootable crates and abandoned wreckage. Navigation is a key. Gravity and life support are offline and the entire ship is shrouded in suffocating darkness. As you make your way through, you will discover valuable crates filled with units, resources and unique salvage-based decorations. Your main objective is to survive and uncover the ship's secrets. You must collect security credentials from readable logs scattered around the freighter and access 3 main terminals: the record terminal, secure mainframe and engineering control. Each unlocks fragments of a freighter's tragic story, leading to greater rewards and deeper mystery. Completing a run grants valuable data, loot and resources, the spoils of those who brave the void. At the end, you will face the final terminal, where you can choose a special reward before returning to your starship and leaving the haunted wreck behind. The average Derelict run varies by ship size, player skill and goals, usually taking 10 to 20 minutes. But in this video I will show you how to master Derelict farming and complete a full run in just a few minutes, maximizing profits while minimizing risks. Here is where things get interesting. Although every new Derelict freighter has a different design, if you keep using the emergency signal scanner in the same system, the layouts remain identical. If used correctly, this knowledge becomes a massive advantage, letting you memorize rooms, predict crate spawns and farm the best rewards in record time. We will discuss how to make the most of this mechanic later in this video. In many similar genre games like action RPGs, dungeons are often endgame content, places where players grind for the best gear and ultimate loot. But in No Man's Sky, Derelict Freighters are accessible much earlier, as long as you have a steady income of units. Once spending 5 million units on an emergency signal scanner doesn't hurt your wallet, you are ready to begin. At that point, you can buy at least 1 scanner per day for the minimum price and do a daily run or stockpile scanners for a longer farming session later. If you are still in the mid-game and 5 to 30 million units per scanner feels expensive, it's time to establish your money-making empire. Once you set up a stasis device production line, you will have a source of billions of units per day, removing the problem of the entry cost entirely. I have a detailed guide on my channel showing exactly how to achieve that and become a true billionaire of No Man's Sky. If you are unsure whether your gear or weapons are strong enough to handle the danger of Derelict Freighters, don't worry. This guide will prepare you with all the essential tricks to farm them quickly, safely and efficiently at any stage of the game, regardless of your gear. All enemies in the game, including those aboard Derelicts, scale with your strength, so even basic equipment can keep you safe. The real danger comes not from what lurks in the shadows, but from the deadly cold that constantly drains your hazard protection. To survive, bring sodium or install at least 1 S-Class thermal protection upgrade cold in your exosuit. This will drastically reduce the freezing impact and allow you to stay inside for as long as needed. You can recharge the protection upgrade with dioxide or ion batteries, and here is a pro tip. When your thermal protection upgrade runs out, don't rush to recharge it immediately. Wait until your main hazard protection is nearly depleted before recharging the upgrade. When you do, both systems will refill simultaneously, saving you valuable resources. Once you are properly equipped and your wallet is ready, it's time to face the true purpose behind these haunting wrecks, to uncover what treasures lie hidden within these cold and terrifying dungeons of No Man's Sky. So why are derelict freighters so lucrative even if they don't drop the best late game gear? The answer lies in their efficiency. When farmed correctly, they are the fastest method in the game to obtain crucial freighter upgrades, cargo bulkheads. On top of that, you can occasionally earn salvage frigate modules and exclusive salvage base building decorations, which can also be used to decorate your corvette or freighter. You will also collect a unique currency known as Tainted Metal, used to purchase exclusive cosmetic items and suspicious X-Class upgrade packets from the scrap dealer. Many new players don't realize that beyond units, nanites and quicksilver, No Man's Sky includes our valuable currencies, and Tainted Metal is one of them. While it can sometimes be found at out-of-age harmonic camps on dissonant planets, derelict freighters remain the fastest and most consistent source of it. They also offer a reliable way to farm S-Class freighter tech upgrades, and since the Voyager's update, completing a derelict freighter can also reward you with a small pack of corvette construction modules. However, spending millions of units just for these modules isn't worth it, as they are much easier and faster to farm for free. And now let's go step by step through all the possible loot and rewards, because understanding them will shape the most efficient farming strategy. While exploring a derelict freighter, you will find countless containers and crates filled with loot, but that abundance is also the challenge. If you try to loot everything, your inventory fills up quickly, especially if your exosuit has limited slots. Not all loot holds real value. Considering the steep entry cost, only a few items are worth prioritizing: salvage frigate modules, exclusive base building decorations and tainted metal. The rest can clutter your inventory and slow down your runs. With the Voyager's update, corvette modules were also added to the loot table, but they are quite rare and usually found only on abandoned starships, which don't appear in every derelict freighter. If you plan to loot everything, make sure you have at least 30 free slots in your exosuit inventory before starting a run. Otherwise, focus only on high valuable rewards for maximum efficiency. A fully looted derelict typically yields 2 to 6 million units and 15-4000 nanites in scrap, plus one valuable reward of your choice from the final terminal. The first terminal always gives a crew manifest, the second gives the captain's luck if you've obtained security credentials, and the final terminal, the engineering control, lets you choose between two options: fabricate items or extract nanites. Extracting nanites gives only about 500-600 nanites, not worth it, even if you are short on them. There are much faster ways to earn large amount of nanites in this game. Instead, choose the fabricate item option. This opens up 3 more choices: fabricate technology upgrade, fabricate freighter bulkhead, fabricate corvette modules. Choosing fabricate technology upgrade gives a random type and class of a salvage fleet unit, installable upgrades for your freighter that boosts freighter expedition stats or read hyperdrive performance. Also, this option can occasionally reward a starship reactor instead, which, considering the high entry fee, is quite an unfortunate outcome. Interestingly, the starship reactors class can differ from the salvaged fleet units class obtained from the same terminal. For example, you could receive a random C-class salvaged fleet unit and an A-class starship reactor from the same terminal and derelict. The second option, fabricate freighter bulkhead, rewards you with a cargo bulkhead used to expand your freighter's cargo or tech inventory. The third option, fabricate corvette modules, give a small pack of random corvette construction parts, usually 3 to 4 per run. You can also sell your crew manifest and captain's luck to the guild, envoy or the scrap dealer at any space station. The envoy rewards you with standing for the system dominant race, while the scrap dealer pays you in tainted metal. Donating a crew manifest grants +8 standing or sells for 2 to 500 tainted metal. Donating a captain's luck grants +12 standing or sells for 2 to 600 tainted metal. Both can also be sold for units, but that's the least profitable option. Now, here is where things get strange. In my testing, crew manifest and captain's luck, obtained from repeated runs of the same derelict, stack separately and can be stored to sell later. However, when selling them, I could only trade one of each type per NPC, one crew manifest to the scrap dealer and one to the envoy. Selling Captain's Luck right after the manifest gave a massive plus 58 reputation boost instead of plus 12, while selling it to the scrap dealer granted the normal Tainted Metal reward. When I tried selling multiple versions from different derelicts, both traders refused some items entirely. Transferring extras to the starship or freighter inventory didn't help since the game still recognized them in shared storage. So yes, it's bugged, but can be used intentionally or not to boost reputation quickly. I don't promote exploits like this, but it is worth being aware of. To avoid this bug altogether, here is a simple workaround. Before selling, move all extra manifests and lucks to your starship inventory and leave only one of each in your exosuit. They don't have to be from the same Derelict Freighter, so feel free to mix them. Then switch your primary ship to another one in your collection. This way, the game won't detect the rest, allowing you to sell both items to the same trader without any issues. Tainted Metal can also be refined into nanites at 1:2 ratio, so selling crew manifests and Captain's Luck to the scrap dealer and refining the resulting Tainted Metal can easily net you around 1000 additional nanites per run. Replaying a Derelict Freighter in the same star system will always generate the same internal layout and reward class. For example, if a Derelict gives an S-Class salvaged fleet unit, every future run in that system will also give an S-Class unit, though of a random type, boosting hyperdrive, expedition speed, fuel efficiency, combat, exploration, mining or trade. This makes Derelicts an excellent way to farm S-Class freighter upgrades. That said, finding a Derelict with S-Class rewards on your own can take time. After running dozens during my research for this guide, I wasn't lucky enough to roll one naturally. For that reason, I still consider Pirate Dreadnoughts the most reliable way to obtain guaranteed S-Class freighter upgrades solo, because destroying them always guarantees a random type of S-Class upgrade drop. As you can see, these dark dungeon-like relics drifting through the void are more than just haunted wrecks. They are treasure vaults of the lost. Depending on the rewards you are after, your Derelict Freighter farming strategy will take shape, whether you are chasing profits, specific upgrades, or simply the thrill of exploring the frozen remains of forgotten voyages. If you choose to fully loot the Derelict, you will be exploring every corridor, scavenging every crate and facing everything it hides. Make sure your inventory is ready and stock up on batteries or resources to keep your hazard protection running. And don't forget to collect the extra supplies at the entrance. Visit every room, even the ones marked with red circles which lead to dead ends, as valuable loot often hides there as well. A full run may reward you with salvage frigate modules, exclusive base decorations and large amount of Tainted Metal, around 150 to 500 per run depending on the Derelict size. At the end you will also claim one of the special rewards from the final terminal. When you are done, activate the teleporter next to the engineering control terminal to return to the emergency airlock at the start, then head to your starship to complete the run. Be careful though, teleporters at the first two terminals also lead back to the airlock, so don't activate them unless you are ready to leave. Later you can trade the crew manifest and Captain's Luck for more Tainted Metal, or use them to raise your standing with a specific guild. Not a bad return for 5 million ticket to a dark and chilling adventure among the stars, right? Here are my top 12 tips to make your Derelict runs smoother, faster and far more efficient. Tip 1. Play in first-person mode. Third person, even with maxed field of view, often blocks your sight and makes interactions awkward. In tight corridors and during speedruns, first person makes navigation much cleaner and faster. Tip 2. Use your exosuit scanner to highlight lootable containers or the analysis visor to find doors and terminals faster. If you are farming the same Derelict repeatedly, note that all loot containers stay in the same places, and once you learn the layout, every run becomes predictable and quick. Tip 3. Use the jetpack dash to move faster. While the jetpack main thrust is disabled inside, quick dashes still work and they can save you a lot of time over a run. Tip 4. There are 3 main container types aboard Derelicts: personal lockers with low value loot, briefcases containing units, nanites or Tainted Metal, and sometimes valuable artifacts, and large blue crates which can drop salvage frigate modules and exclusive salvage base decorations. Tip 5. Unstable containers can be shot to explode, helping you clear infestations. But keep your distance, a blast can easily damage or even kill you. Avoid using area damage weapons like the geology cannon in tight corridors, unless you want to join the derelict ghost yourself. Tip 6. Horrific nests can be bypassed. As long as you stand still while they shake, they won't release the swarm. You can also walk past safely while using the analysis visor. The nest may stir, but it won't burst open. Tip 7. Defense turrets only attack if you step into their search zone or shoot them first. Move carefully and you can slip past unnoticed. Tip 8. Every kill aboard counts toward kill the creature's missions, so you can multitask earning mission rewards while raiding derelicts. Tip 9. Pressurized capsules and festering pustules drop large amount of living slime, which can be refined into runaway mold and then further refined into nanites at a 5:1 ratio. It's messy work but profitable. Tip 10. Free up space by refining handle cores and larval cores into nanites mid-run if you have a personal refiner installed. Avoid refining living slime during the run though, it takes far too long. Tip 11. You don't need to read every scattered log. Once you've acquired the security credentials required for the captain's log, skip the rest unless you enjoy piecing together the ship's story. Keep in mind that security credentials can spawn anywhere, even sometimes in the last room near the final engineer control terminal, so be prepared to backtrack if you need to retrieve the captain's log from the second terminal. Tip 12. The freezing effect aboard derelicts can make visibility almost unbearable. By default, the hazard effects settings under accessibility is set to 100%, covering your screen with heavy frost. Reduce it to 35%. You will still feel the chill, but your vision will remain clear. Perfect balance between immersion and playability. Many players don't even know this setting exists, and even some seasoned creators play with their screens half frozen. Don't make the same mistake. And now that you are armed with these tricks to survive and optimize your runs, it's time to push efficiency to the next level and turn these hunted husks into your personal gold mines. A full run can be fun when you are just starting out. The thrill of exploration, the eerie silence and the unknown behind every flickering door make each run pulse with adrenaline and tension. But once the novelty fades, that same process becomes less exciting and more exhausting. Looting countless containers scattered across endless corridors and chasing down every single lock for security credentials starts to feel like busy work. So, is there a smarter way to cut through the tedium and focus only on the most valuable rewards? Absolutely, though it comes at the cost of some regular currency and tainted metal from lesser containers. As mentioned earlier, Derelict Freighters hold 14 exclusive salvage-based decorations that can be used to customize your bases, freighters and corvettes. The key to finding them is that only the large blue crates can drop these items. The same crates can also contain salvage frigate modules, meaning you can farm both valuable item types simultaneously by focusing only on the large blue crates, a perfect combination for ultimate efficiency. To take advantage of this, focus only on blue crates and ignore everything else. The number and placement of these crates are random and not tied to the derelict size or number of zones. So first you will need to find the derelict rich in blue crates. Remember, they can appear even in dead-end rooms, so a quick scan of side passages could be worth it. Once you've identified a good derelict, you can streamline your run dramatically. Here is the pro move. Skip the entire security credentials hunt. By ignoring most locks and bypassing the captain's lock objective, you can rush through the derelict, opening only blue crates and heading straight for the final terminal. You will sacrifice the option to trade crew manifest and captain's lock for extra tainted metal or reputation, but the time saved is massive. Alternatively, you can collect only the crew manifest from the first terminal and skip the captain's lock entirely. A good balance between speed and some extra rewards. In my testing, This smart run strategy cuts total run time by around 50% compared to a full clear, a huge difference. And if you happen to find a smaller derelict with few enemies and plenty of blue crates, the process becomes even faster. Such runs can take just a few minutes from start to finish. Once you're done looting, return to your starship and leave a derelict. To repeat the same derelict layout, you don't need to leave the system. Simply activate another emergency signal scanner and pull jump until you detect a new derelict to raid. However, don't activate a new scanner too close to the last derelict. If the old wreck is still within raider range, the scanner might detect a random space anomaly instead. The safest way is to pulse jump for a short distance before activating another emergency signal scanner. With this method, derelict farming becomes fast, efficient and satisfyingly straightforward, stripping away the grind and focusing on what truly matters: valuable loot, chilling atmosphere and the thrill of easy profit pulled from the cold hands of the void. So, what's the fastest and most efficient way to farm a derelict freighter? You can begin with a full run or smart run approach until you've collected all exclusive salvage-based decorations and earned enough tainted metal to purchase every cosmetic from the scrap dealer. Once that's done, there is little reason to waste time looting any crates at all. Salvage frigate modules have a tiny drop rate from blue crates, and once you've already claimed all the unique decorations and cosmetics, continuing to open them is hardly worth it. After all, salvage frigate modules can be passively farmed through freighter expeditions almost daily. If you want to learn how to find the best freighter and build elite fleet to farm these modules passively, I have a full guide on my channel that shows the entire process, including how to reliably obtain guaranteed S-class freighter tech upgrades by hunting and defeating pirate dreadnoughts. And now let's focus on the real question: what is the ultimate derelict farming method? The answer is surprisingly simple. Find a small derelict, ideally one with just 7 zones, and sprint straight through it. Ignore every dead end, every crate and every enemy. Just keep moving forward until you reach the final terminal for that high value reward. A vessel without enemies will be ideal, though rare, so if you are still learning, just avoid heavily infested layouts. Your main target is cargo bulkheads, one of the most valuable and difficult items to acquire quickly in the game. These cannot be passively farmed, so at the final terminal always choose the cargo bulkhead reward. Using this method, the results are astonishing. In my testing, the average runtime dropped by nearly 80%, allowing completing a derelict in as little as 1.5 minutes. This means you can collect up to 30 cargo bulkheads in just 1 hour, the fastest way to expand your freighter's inventory in No Man's Sky right now. Don't worry about enemies or danger. If you keep moving at full speed, nothing will have the chance to stop you. And if the derelict has multiple floors, don't waste time on stairs. Just jump down and continue forward. It's a simple method, but its brilliance lies in that simplicity. In No Man's Sky, as in life, the simplest strategy is often the smartest. Once your freighter storage is fully expanded, the payoff is huge. Each slot can hold double the amount of items, making your capital ship a true mobile fortress of wealth. One crucial tip: if you already have cargo bulkheads stored in your freighter inventory, any new ones obtained from derelicts will automatically stack there. Don't be alarmed if you don't see them appear in your exosuit inventory. But before you charge headfirst into the next derelict, there is still one last obstacle to face, and it's not physical. The devs have done an impressive job crafting deeply unsettling horror atmosphere aboard these ghost ships. Many players find the flickering lights, metallic creaks and echoing whispers enough to slow their pace or stop entirely. This is why in the next chapter of this guide I will show you how to decrease these psychological horror effects, turning a terrifying stroll through the void into something calm, controlled and even enjoyable, because fear, like space itself, can be mastered. Have you ever wondered why Derelict Freighters feel so unnerving and why so many players avoid them altogether even though they are packed with valuable loot? It's not just the darkness or the unknown danger lurking inside, it's how the game plays with your senses. Hello Games use the same psychological tricks as classic horror movies and games, manipulating sound, silence and atmosphere to keep your mind on edge. In horror experiences like this, it's rarely about what you see, it's about what you hear and feel. Distant echoes, sudden silences and low trembling sounds build tension long before anything happens. The music drifts between eerie, calm and sharp bursts, tricking your brain into expecting something terrible even then nothing is there. Derelict Freighters capture that perfectly. The narrow corridors, flickering lights and metal grounds create a Dead Space-like atmosphere where your imagination becomes a real threat. Every echo and static burst makes you hesitate before turning the next corner. It's a masterclass in sound and tension, turning exploration into a psychological test of courage rather than just another loot run. But what happens when you take the sound away? Suddenly, the freighter loses its soul. Without the haunting subtle noises, the fear begins to fade. It feels more like walking through an empty office complex than surviving a space nightmare. And if you take it even further, replacing the scary sounds with something cheerful or comedic, the transformation becomes downright absurd. It's like watching a horror movie with a sitcom soundtrack. The tension collapses, the fear vanishes, and what once felt terrifying suddenly becomes funny. It's the perfect reminder of how much power sound design has over your emotions and how No Man's Sky uses it to make Derelict Freighters one of its most haunting, memorable experiences. So if the atmosphere feels too intense and keeps you from enjoying these runs, try turning off the game's sound or replacing it with your favorite music. You will stay focused on efficiency instead of subconsciously waiting for alien monstrosities to jump from the dark. But if you thrive on the chilling tension, you can make it even further by equipping the Atlantid Red Multitool with its unique crimson glow, letting the shadows swallow you whole. It will make every Derelict Freighter run feel like a Dead Space adventure. The choice is yours, space traveler. You've walked through darkness, faced the whispers, and now you know. The scariest ships hide the richest rewards. Master these farming routes, optimize your runs, and watch your profits skyrocket. Still, as much as I love the concept of Derelict Freighters, they clearly show room for improvement. It's a fantastic idea the devs introduced, but it quickly becomes repetitive because of limited variety and predictable layouts. Beyond grinding for valuable items, there isn't much reason to keep looting them again and again. Personally, I see huge potential here. The addition of corvette modules as a final reward is a solid first step, but I'd love to see a full rework similar to how other systems like settlements and fossils were expanded. Imagine derelicts filled with new enemy types. The already existing biological horrors reminiscent of aliens would fit perfectly into their eerie atmosphere. Mix them with fast-moving infestation creatures to create true danger for those who dare to step into the unknown, or even add corrupted sentinels and ancient guardians. Each run could feel truly unique and might even end with a final boss, a massive, extra strong ancient guardian protecting a treasure worth the risk. Reworking the loot system could breathe new life into this content as well. Adding rare items like psionic eggs and spawning socks to the drop pool would make derelict exploration exciting again. There is so much potential for the system to evolve into something truly thrilling. Let's hope the devs rework it one day, just as they did with our game mechanics, bringing new life into these terrifying but fascinating dungeons of No Man's Sky. To wrap up this guide on a practical note, I will showcase a full unedited speedrun of a derelict, complete with a timer and some cool music, so you can see how everything we've covered works in practice. Take a moment to check it out, and if this guide helped you to conquer your fear and claim the treasures of the void more efficiently, hit that like button, subscribe for more No Man's Sky mastery, and share your first derelict experience in the comments below. Keep your lights on and your profits high, and I'll see you in the next video. Derelict Raiders. Udalooper out, heading into the dark for that epic derelict speedrun.